it's working. Kennison, let me show you what I just set up too. If you leave it right where it's at, watch this. Sorry, everybody on live stream. We'll get the meeting will start in a second. If you click on this, you can show the board,
Okay.
or you can show the screen,
In,
or you can come back to
you know,
the
Walmart
white chat
side,
Okay.
by just
the
clicking.
upper part of Walmart.
Kind of cool. Yeah. But if you shift it, then it
It's
won't.
the
Real
lower
quick,
part, yeah,
Get Village Park,
so Village Park area, in the
Okay.
middle,
right in the middle, about district.
yeah, right above
This is-
Bull II Park.
Hey, no,
Sorry.
that's fine.
Oh, that's where that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the New Hope Spark, All Spark meeting. Glad you guys made it. It's a smaller group with us tonight. There may be a lot more people joining us on live stream, so if you're joining us on live stream, could I ask you to do one thing for us? Could you let me know that you watched it on live stream so that we know that this is valuable and not just something that I'm setting up and nobody's watching? That would help me out a lot. But for those of you who are here in the room, thank you guys for making it. Because it's a smaller group, we'll probably be able to go a little bit faster. And so live stream's already done. See, we already got one thing done. So the next is newcomers, and I don't see any newcomers, I don't think, that haven't been here ever before.
Oh.
David, have you been doing Allspark before? You have. Of course you have. Okay, so that was done. So normally we would do this whole stand-up, sit-down thing, but I think I already know the answer. Amy, you are a new full-fledged member since last time that we met, right? Is anybody else a new full-fledged member? Okay.
He's laughing.
And for those watching online, that just means that she has filled out the questionnaire, filled out the survey, committed to Spark as a ministry, and has communicated that to me. And so we have to go through the ceremony. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
So come on up front,
Oh, no.
I was copying that thing, right?
because basically,
I forgot
yeah,
to do all that.
this is how this works. You have approved, you've stated that you want to be a part of Spark. And then now that you've gone through all those hoops, we, want to affirm
Oh,
that
I've
you
never
can be a
seen
part of
this
Spark.
before.
But now we have to see if God wants you to be a part of Spark.
Okay.
Okay? At least that's the way the joke goes. Now we have to be sure never to give these to Kennison, because he makes
Yeah.
a mess if you do these.
Yeah. I did what you would think would happen with that.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
Okay, so you get one. Now here's the rule. Okay, you know you're standing on carpet and whatnot, but there's your one. And you're gonna have to stand right over here where we can see you. Yeah, but I want you to be on video. I want you to come into the frame just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit
So-
more. Okay,
So
right
what's gonna
there.
happen here is you're gonna throw it down, and normally we'd have a bunch of folks here, but you're gonna throw it down, and if it doesn't snap, then I'm sorry, you'll have to wait till next year maybe, or something.
I was stressed for some
I know, it's stressful, so you have to throw it hard,
pressure,
you
huh?
can't
No
throw it light, okay?
Right
So
now.
if you're ready, go ahead.
Yay!
All right. We have a new member of Spark, Amy. So, and David shortly to follow, I'm sure. Thank you. And as the rule goes, all the other members, full-fledged members of Spark, get to throw things at Amy if they wish to,
Oh, my.
all throughout the meeting to make sure she stays
We'll be
alert
nice.
and awake.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
we
don't
can
qualify.
That's what visitors said, right?
Yeah, that's like a our haze.
Oh, like,
They start to drift. You know? Keeps them awake. Okay.
I need to do this at work.
I know, yeah. Just leave it
Don't,
in
you know what, though, don't throw those at somebody though.
Yeah,
they
because they
burn.
throw little rocks.
Well, not only that, they actually burn your clothes.
Mm.
Oh,
Well, because of that spark, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's a little.
I thought I was being
It's
funny or
it's
wasn't.
really is a
And
spark.
they have
just
black
like it's-
spots on
Yeah,
your shirt.
it's
Yeah,
like a, yeah,
yeah, we used to throw at each other.
You must favor fire, right?
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cliche.
Okay. Okay. So as always, before I get into any kind of agenda that I want to present to you, I want to be available. This is an opportunity for you to ask any questions or to do show and tell or whatever, just like an open point. We always start a meeting with just an open chance for you to ask questions, because we don't want to go through an entire meeting and then find out that you had a question that you never got answered. So does anybody have anything that they want to bring up or have me answer or talk about?
You know that video we did?
Yeah.
With the kids?
Yeah.
I wish I had more time for the younger kids to prep them, because it was scary.
Were they intimidated?
One gave up.
Interesting.
So, and it's a time if they overcome fear, it's actually a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So I saw it, but I wish I had more time for it. Most of them went, just one kid didn't go on because he was scared.
Yeah, I know there was one who saw it and then,
He got nervous, and I saw that, but I didn't have time to talk to him, because for little kids, he was one of the younger ones. It would have been a great experience if you were came that
Yeah.
year, so that's the only thing, I wish I had more time.
Isn't that true for all of us? You know, if we take the time to actually face our fear and overcome it, it's almost always a positive experience. But you're right. I actually was, I don't know what was in my head, but I wasn't picturing kids as young as that in a lot of these cases. I was picturing middle schoolers and high schoolers, but it was much younger, you know. And I remember when you brought me some of the first really little ones. I was like, oh wow, these kids are really young.
Yeah, I try to prep them
Yeah.
when I could, but that one I didn't get to talk to, because we had a lot of kids come in.
Happening all at
But I
once.
wish I did, now, because
Yeah.
he gave up.
What was this for?
Well, we're gonna talk about it a little bit during the video segment, but what we were doing is Leilani,
Oh, yeah, okay,
Oh,
that
live?
last night thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We were videotaping Mahalos. You know, they had a chance to be able to tell them on video what they've, thank them and what they've meant to their lives and things like that. And so we started out up here, but then we found out Stephen Poole was coming fairly early, so I only had like a chance for like maybe 5 up here. And then we hid in the back by the back staircase, and we just led kids off, and we're doing a lot of it. We did a lot, and I remember thinking, oh, we're done. Oh, one more. Oh, we're done. Oh, one more. Oh, 3 more. And those one more is went another like 45 minutes.
And the environment was noisy.
And it wasn't
It
ideal.
wasn't in our control, including my daughter.
Yeah.
I had stuff, but the cleaners and the door slamming, I
Yeah.
tried to, but I couldn't,
And we were in the hallway, and so you know what? That's okay with me though. I hope you don't feel bad about that, because we were basically doing guerrilla video there.
Yeah.
The fact that we had lighting at all was a plus. When you added that backlight, that just brought a production quality to it that I think really helped. But I was prepared to use natural light for everything if we had to, and that would have been fine for that kind of a project. So, that was good. But what I did want to say is that Amy did an incredible job. I've been telling people, grabbing the bull by the horns. She showed up, and I gave her an assignment of just get these kids mic'd. Have one kid mic'd, and while they're with me, you're mic'ing the next kid, and then we'll swap them, and she'd swap out the mics. And she just took control of that situation
Yeah, awesome.
so well, and she was bringing them to me and giving me their name right off so I could like greet them by name, and she was just like on top of it. And you worked hard, yeah?
I enjoyed it, it was fun.
Oh.
The kids so that's why my heart felt for that one child.
Yeah, for the one
It
who.
would have been a great experience for him,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that's why I
Okay.
brought it up.
Okay, well, that's good. So good job on that. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to share one of those interviews that was particularly touching. It was actually the very first one. So nobody who got to work last night got to see it, so I did want to share it. I showed it to my wife, and she cried too. Any other questions or show and tells? Yeah.
For the future of this ministry,
Yeah.
I think something we mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but to have either a classified, for just members who need, maybe somebody who needs house cleaning, we have senior citizens that may need a hand doing the yard work in the church, somebody who's here saying can I have somebody to help, or they're sick, and maybe somebody to make food. Something like that, not so much advertising businesses,
Yeah.
but more if you need yard work, or I have a room to rent, not space to rent, and call so-and-so.
So help connect people.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Okay, interesting that you say that, because it's the perfect segue to the next thing I wanted to talk about. And let me throw this up here. Because there's something coming that might fit that need. What am I trying to do? Airplay, library, I should take control of that. Okay, cool. The first thing I wanted to kind of go over with you guys is something that's sort of new and upcoming. So you guys are my guinea pigs. Nobody in the church, except for a few key members of an implementation team and the financial team, really know what this is. This is coming to the church. It's called CCB, Community Church Builder, but we're going to brand it something like New Hope Connected. See this logo? Where'd it go? I had it there a second ago until I made it go away. Tell you what, let me log out so you can see it. There. So this is what it looks like from the, to the public until you log in. Now nobody here has logins except for the implementation team, which is basically the pastors and Wes. I don't know how quite Wes West got involved. I think we were all looking for somebody from every campus, but it ended up West was always available. So it's basically the pastors in West, and we are going through a process with a coach on the mainland with a 1 hour long conference call after every staff meeting, getting this set up for us. But what this is gonna be is, once we're done, it's a lot of things, but what I'm gonna tell you about today is like there's these groups. And I have set up my very first groups, and this is all very beta, so most of the stuff is empty or it's not set up yet. But what we have here, an example of this, and I'll get back to your question here in a second, David. For example, here's the Spark Video Team group. So within this group, let me see if I can make it bigger so it looks easier to see. We have information about the group, so you can see that it's a media group. I'm the leader of the group. If we had meeting days or times, we'd be there. We can pass messages to each other within this group. And so this is how I've been lately announcing that we have, video team meetings or whatnot. Some of you who are in the video ministry saw this go out, and it has sort of a unique look to it. I just want to extend this opportunity to everyone on the video team. We're going to shoot a thank you video. So this is kind of how I advertised that there's an upcoming opportunity to shoot. But also on here is, as a group, we will have our own calendar. It's mostly empty except for two right now, the Kapawiki testimony recording, the video team meeting we had on the 21st, and then like today's the 28th, which doesn't have Allspark in because that actually happens on another group. But we're able to take these calendars and group them with other calendars too. And on here as well, files, so I can pass around files, but there's this thing called needs. So David, back to your question, groups can be anything. Here, this is a ministry group, but these could just as well be Ohana groups. Or there's one group for the whole church, and there's a group for just Oliva members, or just Memory Line members. These could just as well be Ohana groups. And if we were to do something like that with the whole church, and use the needs function, then there would be an area where people could post needs and meet needs. And so if somebody writes saying, oh my gosh, I'm on a fixed income and the mechanic just told me that my transmission needs fixed. I really don't know what to do. I have to have a car. Can somebody help? And then we have a mechanic who's in church who wants to bless people with what God's skilled him to do, and sees that and would be able to meet that need.
Yeah.
And so that might be coming. I will say that that's not what we're gonna be launching with, but let's give us maybe a year to kind of get stabilized, and something like that, or even just hey, I need my grass mowed and I wanna bless one of the teenagers from church, so if there's any teenager who wants to mow my grass for $25, which I understand it's not $10 anymore. We could do that. So we could have this needs board, and when needs get met, you actually goes onto an archive, so we can actually see how we're ministering to each other. And the whole concept of loving one another, that's how they said, the world will know we are Christians by the love we have one for another. So we can actually demonstrate that.
Yeah, on that note, is someone can our connections ministry be?
Hey, Ricky.
Hi, hey Ricky, fresh from the mainland. Yeah, everybody, give a hand to Ricky Tan.
Hello.
Just getting started. What were you saying, Amy?
I'm just wondering if our connections ministry can be a part of that, because we're information
Yeah.
downstairs, and we're talking that in time, something like, we had other ideas too.
Yeah.
But we do a lot, but, yeah.
Our
That's
goal
what
is to have every ministry team organized in this, even prayer and things like that. We could have the prayer team set up here, and we can set it up in ways where you're not inundated with emails and things like that. So we ourselves are learning how it all works. One of the first places you're gonna see this implemented is very soon. It's on the Transformation Academy registration process. Last go around, it was in F1, Fellowship 1. We're leaving Fellowship 1, actually at the end of this month. And so the next round of registrations, which are gonna go on the website soon, we'll talk about that in a little bit, is gonna be through CCB. But we're not inviting people to log into CCB yet, because we're not quite ready to roll it out to the body yet. And so I'd like you to kind of, keep this is, you guys get your privilege to be able to see something that's in development, but we're not quite ready to show it to everybody yet, so if you can kind of keep it to yourselves, but this is coming. It's actually, we should be rolling it out mid-July, and I think we're done with our coach in like mid-August. So we have like a 1 month of sort of like helping us if there's troubleshooting or whatnot, and then so not on our own, because we can still ask for help, but our coach's time, we're on a 8-month thing with our coach.
So,
Yeah.
to tie into connections, if you have a laptop like that and people want to find, our servants can help find them things.
Yep.
Like, come see connections for whatever they're looking
Yep.
for. And
Yep, they
whatever
can log in.
ministries that might not be listed on the brochure,
Yeah.
might be inside here. Oh, you're looking for,
Information about,
The homeless,
some,
the-
some
Oh, that's one,
esoteric
yeah.
ministry that's not in the bulletin, they could sign up for it online or on their phone, and then the ministry head will get a notification. You guys could have files, like, so any physical handout that you have, you could also have a PDF that could be available to anybody, available at any time. You could have your own calendars, and then you could organize yourselves, because there's even like schedules, which is, like who's serving on what particular Sunday, and then who's a part of the ministry. So like here for the video ministry, I think I filled this one out. So these are the people that are on my video ministry list. Now, not everybody here is coming to things, but everybody here is getting the emails. And if there's maybe more people we need to add, we can add that. So this is like the first place I'm beginning to experiment with it. But what I'd like to let you guys know is I want to start rolling you guys, like my ministries, into CCB, mostly because I want to learn how to start using it so that I can start explaining it to other people. And so you might see invites to join one of these other ones, and you'll see here, like here's all of them, right? So the web team, video team, social media team, photography, design, which is Daryl, and then the two levels of support that we have for groups as a whole. So supporters are basically everybody whose email I have that ever expressed an interest in joining Spark. Then members are those people who have actually made that commitment to that 1 year service, and so it's a much smaller group. But I did want to be able to communicate things just to them that like a lynda.com things that they get to access that the supporters haven't made that commitment to yet. And then admin is actually just on, but hopefully that will expand to be able to get more help. So you might see me inviting you or assigning you to these groups. And we're gonna start figuring out how that looks. After the implementation of the registration for Transformation Academy, probably the next place you're gonna see this is I'm gonna be taking the calendars that are on here. Every one of these groups has its own calendar, including the whole church, which is a conglomeration. And I'm gonna be moving these calendars into our websites so that as ministry leaders update their calendars, it all just flows automatically into our website without having to have a web person enter every single entry on every single website. We have 5 websites that we run. It's kind of a big job. So that's coming and new, and I wanted you guys to kind of get a peek at it. Any questions on that? Yeah. Ken?
So the emails and notifications that we get now will be via
Probably through here.
and not Trello.
Okay, so Trello serves a bit of a different purpose. And I haven't decided, I haven't learned yet how they're gonna work together. I think they will work fine together. Trello, in my mind, or the way I think of it, is sort of a chore board. I always call it a chore board. And so that's sort of like, these are the tasks that we need to do. So it works pretty good for design for sure, for social media it's working well. And I think for video ministry, it could be working a little bit better, but that's mostly because I need to be entering things into it a little bit better. Where there's really not that kind of functionality in this. This is more for communication, but I see what you're saying, because Trello also has like a communication, it's sort of a task-based communication, and this is more of a group-based communication. So I'm trying to figure that out myself, how they're gonna work together.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet, exactly how I'm gonna make that work. I like Trello, we're definitely gonna be using this too. Can I do what I do in Trello in this? I I don't see that yet. Unless I can do it with schedules. I haven't learned about the scheduling function very well yet. So if I can do that in scheduling, where I could, but I would have to assign people to things, where what I like about Trello is like, hey, these things need done, so anybody can grab from that and say, oh, I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. I'm not sure if I can do that here, so.
I think it was just the teams, I mean, I'll try and think through it as well, or we all can, but I know when we were meeting as teams, it would go out on the Spark.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good too, because you had all the teams set in there. So if we get this one, I
You know what
guess
I'm
it
being
could
a
work.
little bit frustrated with Trello on the team members thing, is there's like a team member section that has boards in it, and then within the board, there are
There's
team
another,
members,
yeah.
and they're different. And so I have to enter everybody twice, and sometimes I'm finding that somebody I thought was in wasn't in the other one, and so they're
Oh,
not
I
getting
see.
them in, I'm getting confused, right?
Mhm.
I don't like that part of it. But once everybody's in, once I have the list of things that need done, that part works really well. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now. Kind of,
Okay.
it's still in
Yeah.
plastic mode, trying to figure it out. So that's CCB, coming soon. Okay, so let's talk about the web teams. We're gonna go over here's my agenda for the rest of the night. We're gonna talk about the 4 different major teams, which is web, social, video, and photography. Actually, photography and video in that order. And I'm gonna be going over news and to-dos. Okay, so news are like things we can celebrate that are going well, and then to-dos, things we need to figure out or get people assigned to. One of the things that is happening as a whole is that now that we're doing the videos and the videos are coming out strong, they're doing really, really well, I'm getting a lot of requests for videos. And,
Really?
yeah, and I can't do them all.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a limited capacity, on top of which I'm entering a very busy personal season with my son graduating
Yeah.
in 3 weeks. And so I got family coming into town, and we're gonna be getting ready to move him from Hawaii to California in a month after he graduates. And so, like, for the next 2 months, I'm juggling an awful lot. And so I am gonna be looking for help to sort of spread the load here so that we can continue to do, excellent work and keep moving the ball forward in all these 4 different areas. But let me share with you some pretty cool things that are happened, and that's what Rodney was helping me with here. So, talking about the websites, and Amy, I think you're particularly interested in the websites you had said. Thank you very much, David. Trying not to tear it in half as I just before I did it. Okay, that works. Doesn't have to be pretty. There we go. Oh, and it has the stickies.
Yeah, it's a
Hey.
giant post-it, huh?
Giant poster, I love it. Okay. Just put that right there. Okay, so this is some stats from, these stats represents what happened in the last 5 weeks. So from the last time that we met as an Allspark meeting to today, this is the stats for our websites. And so, starting off with you can see that we have 5. So we have the New Hope Central Oahu, which is the overarching organization. Then we have the 3 campuses, and then through in Spark too. So New Hope Central Oahu had 601 different people using the website. And that's up 148 just in the last 5 weeks. So that's an increase of 32% of new users using the website. Those 601 people had 863 sessions, so they were using them. So some people are using it more than once. And the primary platform that they're using is desktops. So these are people on computers that are visiting the site. Now Mililani, and all of these are fairly new. This one's been in existence for a long, not the web, yeah, the web address has been in existence for a long time. So this has always been bigger because a lot of people already have it bookmarked, from 5 years ago before we even existed. And so a lot of times people are just going to their old bookmark, seeing the master site, and then going to one of the individual sites after that. So a lot of these traffic come from NHCO. But Mililani had 409 users from 5 weeks ago. That's up 72 people. So that's a 21% increase in users. They had almost the same amount of sessions though. So third less people, but still using the website a lot more. Probably because this has the podcast on it. And so people might be going back and listening to the podcasts or watching news or, you know, doing the different things that this has a lot more functionality in it. This is sort of points people to the other websites. And the primary user of the Mililani one is a mobile device, which is, I found very interesting that mobile devices, for the most part, most of these are kind of close actually, but this one was clearly mobile device as the primary user. So I could see people throwing it in their car and playing podcasts while they drive to work, something like that, because you can stream a podcast of one of our messages right off the phone without having to download it. Haleiwa, 209 users in the last 5 weeks, that's up 76, so it's actually more new users, which is exciting because they're on the grow. So that's 57% increase, having 373 sessions, primary users are desktops. Wahiwa has 82 users in the last 5 weeks, that's actually down 4 from the previous week. This is in comparison to the same amount of time prior, to the 5 weeks prior to this. 133 sessions, and it's pretty much an even split between desktop and mobile users. And then Spark, which I never really expect very many people to be at, actually has a good number, 92. That's 18 more people than the comparison period prior to that. So that's up 24% in 165 sessions, and primarily mobile device users. So that's how our websites are doing. I just thought, you guys like to see some numbers of what's going on. Give us, something's going on?
Do I press reset or delete? I put my finger on it.
Oh, okay.
Just,
You know what, just do that.
oh, okay.
There you go. You're
I mean, you were still.
Yeah,
oh,
that's fine.
you-
Oh, and
you
in
still
fact, I
went
can
on.
see myself, which is weird. Okay, thanks. I'm glad you stopped me and
Okay.
told me that. So, websites are doing well. Let's talk about news and to-dos. Okay, so new things on the website is we deployed PushPay. Have you guys had a chance to play with that or do that or text the NHCO to 99799? Found it easy?
Yeah.
That's the major thing that I'm hearing from people is that it's so easy now to give. And so that was kind of a cool new feature. It's easier than the old F1 system that we were using before.
And
And
Rich, nobody knows the answer though, how much of that goes to cover the cost? Is it like 3.5% or? I
it's
mean, in
based-
case somebody wanted to adjust what they're giving so that
Here's
their
what you can
tax
tell
comes
people,
out.
and this is accurate. If you give from your bank account, which is called an ACH, I don't remember what that stands for, but ACH transfer, then 100% of it goes to the gift. But if you use a credit card, then there are merchant fees that the credit card companies charge for the use of their services, which is fair because they make for convenience and that's how they make their money. And that can be, it can depend on the credit card, and it can be anywhere between 1 and 3.5%. And so that's what makes it hard to predict is different credit card people use different amounts. But if you just want to make sure that everything you're giving is going to the church, and you're setting up a recurring gift, doesn't have to be recurring, but I would encourage you to go to the trouble of looking at that checkbook, getting your bank routing code and your account number, entering that information into PushPay, and then always using that. Then you have just that assurance that everything you're doing is going to the church, and that we're not getting having a fee that we have to pay. Because that's what happens when you use your credit card. Then we have to pay a fee for the use of the merchant services. But if we don't use the merchant services, we don't have to pay for them.
Okay.
So that's the best answer that you can share with people, and I would love for more people to know that. Because I've peeked at the lists, and a lot of people are using credit cards. Just because it's easy, it's usually what you have in your pocket when you're filling something out. But if you want to do ACH, that's probably the better way to go. Okay, one big piece of news, and I'm not sure where this is going, but there's a new effort by the Rosarios to launch a millennials ministry. And so the millennials, they've gone through Transformation Academy, and now they're going to be doing millennials mentoring, or mentoring millennials in the next Transformation Academy. And they're going to be launching, Ronnie, do you know exactly when? Summer?
Yeah, it's this summer. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to have...
May something.
They're going to have their own Ohana group structure. They're calling it squads. And then they're going to have a midweek, or I think it might be a Friday service for millennials, which is going to be called the Ascension. And something I read this week that was interesting was that millennials just this year became the largest category of people. For the first time ever, it's always been the baby boomers has been the most amount of people, but for the first time ever, the category of millennials has surpassed the amount of baby boomers there are. And so it's a huge amount of people. And so, because millennials is starting, we might be launching a millennials, which I just learned how to spell recently, millennials websites. Now, that's gonna be Elfie, who's Glenn's sister. And what we're in discussion about is, do they just wanna use our structure and we'll just add another tab, just like we have, a tab for youth and a tab for NHCO on all of our websites, and they can have the same look as us? Or do they wanna be all off on their own, which is fine, it's just that I won't be able to support that, like I can if it was like our own structure. Okay, so what we could do is we could just add another millennials tab there above first-time visitors on every website. And they would have the same structure, they'd get their own color, they would run their own content, but I could help them with their structure, with how the website works. So that's kinda cool. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna turn out yet, because there's, a bit of work. Actually, what I learned from when we launched these is the best way to do it is to duplicate the whole website and then change everything, rather than start from
That'd be
scratch.
better for them to leave it
Yeah,
uniform.
yeah, I think so too. But then they might look at this and say, oh, that's not a millennials appealing website, we have to have something slicker and
But who's
fancier.
gonna do it? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
And support.
And it has to be more than just set up, it has to be maintained, right?
You're right. So,
The-
yeah.
Hey, who are these millennials? I don't really, I heard the term.
College age.
Oh, so college age,
Basically, college age, young adult,
Yeah.
born around the
Kind of like
millennium,
the-
the
yeah,
2000s.
W.
They said it's
Oh,
from
eight-
Oh, is it?
1980.
80s to 2000? Okay, that's your
Also, it's
millennium.
like roughly about 18 to 30.
Roughly.
That's
Yeah.
college age.
Yeah,
Post-college.
roughly, yeah.
Okay. Okay, somehow.
Just like Shelby folks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the tail end of the X-Gen.
I guess like, would be good, cause like the high school is so
I guess I'm
graduating,
part
it's
of
easy
that,
for them
because I'm
to
born in '81.
get in.
You may just be grandfathered in, this is good.
Go to a,
Oh, you just made it. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't qualify.
the sales that are
I think I'm
graduating,
over.
it's something that they can go into,
What is it?
Gen Y or something, or Gen?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
like the sales and then, like,
I- I'm-
They didn't catch the.
Tell them Gen X.
yeah, college is like,
Right, right,
Yeah.
that's what they're part of.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so things coming up.
okay.
So things that we're gonna be doing, and actually I was working on this today, the Transformation Academy registration, and I think I have a secret page I can share with you guys. I like sharing with you guys secrets so that, you get rewarded for coming here. So the Spark page, I don't think I actually have a Transformation Academy page. I mean, I have it, but I don't post it, so it's a secret page. And I use it for my testing, Transformation Academy. And so this register for a class, I changed this button just a few hours ago. So now when you click on it, oh, not that quick. This is CCB. And so this is how you would register for class. Now, we
Nice.
haven't tested this form yet, so don't do it. It's not open for registration yet, but this is the next class series. And they can, select what class that they want to sign up for, like God things. And then here's class descriptions for each of the classes.
Wow, very neat.
And then if I hit submit, a lot of magic happens. And it's hard to undo the magic, which I did this afternoon, so I'm not gonna hit submit. But when you hit submit, you automatically get hey, congratulations for signing up for Transformation Academy class, here's your class, welcome to the, to the group. Their email address and name gets added to a group for Transformation Academy for that class, and their name goes into what's called a process queue, which is something that we use internally to track people's growth and movement through the system.
That's cool.
And so then, once that happens, then the leader of that class gets a notification saying that somebody has signed up for your class and here's who they are. And then Pastor Mike and I get a notification saying, hey, somebody just signed up for something in the Transformation Academy as a whole. And so if you wanna see who it is. And then we start to also track stats on how many people are signing up in general. So a lot happens automated when we hit that submit button. And I wanted to test it for the first time, like I said, a few hours ago in Starbucks, and it worked.
Is this easier than the last time?
You know, it is. Here's what we found with F1. It's probably the same effort for a user, because in essence, you're presented with a menu, you select what you want from the menu, and then you hit submit. So that aspect hasn't changed. That was kind of how it worked with F1, and that's how it works with CCB. But for us behind the scenes, F1 was so hard to work with. Making that form and getting the classes figured out and being able to get rosters to people was just clumsy. We didn't like the way F1 was built. It was built very administrative centric, very, you're gonna laugh when I say this, it had a very PC feel to it. And CCB has a very Mac feel to it, and maybe that's part of what makes it easier for me. It just seems intuitive. Like here, I've been able to figure out everything without really going through the manuals. F1, I was constantly trying to figure out, why can't I do this? And what has to be in place first? And so, behind the scenes, it's a lot easier for us. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, 'cause I think they were trying to push people to register this way,
Yeah.
and I don't know why, but when I did it, it seemed easy, but when people came to Connections for
Yeah.
Help, I got stuck at certain points. I don't
You know what
happened.
often the stuck point would be is, in F1, if you had to log in to register. And so to log in, you had to use an email address. And if you didn't give the exact same email address as your account had in F1, it would not connect. And so then it would force you to go through a login, like a new user procedure.
That's what it was.
And people didn't want that. And then on our end, what we ended up with was duplicate people.
Mm.
And so we were always getting, 3 Amy's and 2 Davids and all that kind of stuff. And so this system doesn't require you to log in to register. And it throws you into a queue that we see, and what it does is it looks at your email address and your names, and it compares it to the emails, addresses, and names, and it says, okay, we think these people are these people, but it waits for a human to say, yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. And so then we get one person who's logged into the system, and if we do have somebody who's logged in who's never been in our system before, then we can say, that's a new person, and we don't get these duplications, and the person, when they're signing up, doesn't have this frustration of not being able to get in, so.
Okay, so you did come across that.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was definitely a thing.
Okay.
The worst thing was the duplications. We were constantly finding duplicate people.
Probably contributed to that.
Well, and it comes up in tax return time too, is that they gave some donations with one email address, but then they would log in, they wouldn't remember the email address that they used, so they would create a new user, and then they would donate under that email address. And if we didn't catch it and merge it, then there were like 2 different statements for that same person, so when it comes tax time, they have missing entries. So we were all, we being Glory primarily, was just chasing that all the time. So this helps eliminate a lot of those duplicates. Now, the only thing that has happened is we migrated all of our F1 data into here. So we don't have to start from scratch, but any duplications that were in F1, which we tried to find in advance, have also moved into here. As well as, but see, here's the cool thing. This has a really easy merge function. So once we give it the attention to say, let's just go through the rosters for each campus and find people who have the same names, there's 2 entries, we just say, yeah, that's the same person, merge that data, it puts all that data into one person. And so we'll have to just do that once, and our data will be cleaned up. Okay, so Transformation Academy registration is new and is almost ready to deploy. And then the next thing after that, probably in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, is I want to start moving calendars that appear on CCB and moving them into the website so that they now will auto-populate by the ministry leaders themselves. Which
Rich, I'm sorry, what week does Transformation Academy start?
it starts, I know this, July 2nd, June 2nd to July 17th is the general period. Some classes are meeting at different days, but it's basically the first Thursday in June is when I think the first classes are starting. There might be one that's starting on the 1st instead of the 2nd on a Wednesday. And it's basically going for either 6 or 7 weeks. Some of the teachers have some leeway on how many classes they wanna teach.
Are you suspending Spark during that time? Are you teaching another class?
That's a really good question. I told Pastor Mike that because of this busy season in my life, I couldn't teach this round. And so I'm not teaching in Transformation Academy this semester, I will next semester. But then it just occurred to me like, oh, they're probably gonna be needing the room on Thursday nights when we would normally meet. I have one more round of these, cause our next All-Spark meeting is just before, I think, these start. So I'll have to decide if we're suspending or moving. In fact, let me ask you guys this. Is Thursday nights the best time?
Well, once Transformation Academy starts,
Maybe.
they've asked me to co-labor with them in one of the classes, so
Yeah,
I might not make it if you have a Thursday and I gotta do Thursday too.
yeah.
So that would be the problem for me during that time.
It seems to me like once Transformation Academy is running, we can't be meeting on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Cause I want you guys to be free to
Cause
take
it's always on
classes.
Thursdays, yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
doing it.
So you gotta move.
so, but what if we just moved anyway? Like even when we're not on Transformation
Yeah,
Academy, is
that'd be
Thursday nights not the best time? Cause, like I know Friday nights, a lot of Ohana groups meet, so I know
Yeah,
Friday nights out.
that's true.
But is there a better night? Just shoot, you're not committing, but just shoot the breeze,
Maybe do a Sunday, early Sunday evening.
possible? You
That
could do
would
it.
be best,
You like Sunday evening too?
yeah.
What do other people think on Sunday evening?
Like, by evening, what time?
Well, I would wanna do a 2-hour meeting, and so if we did, 6 to 8,
Are we able to
Seven.
do it like right after service or,
well, we're multi-campus is all,
oh,
so
yeah.
that makes it harder.
Or 5 to 7, and then we know,
If we bring dinner.
that might bring people in.
I know.
Could I, could you scroll down, I just wanna see the other 3 classes.
You guys are cheating, getting the head start.
Well, that way I can kind of decide.
Don't spill the beans and get me in trouble now.
No. Trying to get an idea which one I wanna take.
Yeah.
So most of these will be Thursday nights.
Most are
Is that the
Thursdays.
plan?
And I think there's, Lori likes to teach on Mondays, and I think Carol Miyashiro is teaching a class, I think she meets on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I'm not
Carol's
positive
teaching.
yet. Actually, the previous one had the dates.
Previous, I thought it was Thursday for Carol. Could be wrong.
I could be wrong too,
I think last
I'll
one
know in
was,
just a
I think
second.
she was Wednesday because.
Okay, here's the dates. Seconds, so I know the second's a Thursday, so Thursday, Wednesday for Shape. Mondays for Witnessing in the Spirit's Power, which is Lori. Wednesdays for God Things, which is Pastor Mike, and Thursdays for Pastor Teresa Millennials.
What is shape?
Shape is our, like, how are you designed for ministry class.
Oh,
In my old church, we would call it third base, but it's that idea of like God has given you gifts, abilities, talents, and we talk about what a spiritual gift is, we go through
Find
assessments.
your fit.
oh, yeah,
Find your
yeah,
fit
yeah.
kind of
Yeah, oh, yeah, I
And in
remember that.
fact,
Yeah.
what's cool about it is, did you guys know, I gotta go to one of the traditional sites, I don't think I do it on Spark. I do my own rules for Spark sometimes. If you go to, well, you guys who have become members, see, that's why you don't know. Those of you who become members have done the Shape
Yeah,
survey.
you've done it already, yeah.
Yeah,
Right, so if you
yeah, I
go to,
remember
if
doing
you
it.
just click on
with Sarah.
ministries, without picking any of the subtitles, then you get our Shape survey. Take a spiritual gift assessment, that's Shape. Shape is something that Saddleback put out.
Yeah.
And so there's this rather long survey to fill out, rather long, okay? And then SHAPE stands for your spiritual gifts, your heart, your abilities, your personality, and your experience. And then when you hit submit, then the campus pastor gets that information. But then here's what else is cool. In the CCB, let me cheat and hop into CCB real quick. And I'll call up, I don't think anybody's is filled out, but I'll use myself as an example. Search for person. No, not that person. Back. I'm trying to go fast. See what happens when you rush. actually do launch this, please put a picture on your record.
That'll make it
So much
easier.
easier to find.
What is that?
So, put a picture on your
Profile
record.
picture,
Is it under,
not a photographer.
like, you can see the groups I'm a part of, you know, which is, I'm a part of the whole
Cool.
church, I'm a part of the church staff, I'm a part of the implementation team, I'm the leader of the Spark groups.
See, I told you more
And
than
then
5 people.
And then, this was a group that we're learning how to use groups, is Valerie is our, coach, so this is Val's fun group test. But what I wanted to show you,
Neat.
where's the thing on shape? See, I'm still learning this stuff.
But that's the back office, church admin access, yeah. You can see,
Yeah,
both-
see, I've
you
got
can see
like-
the whole
I've got
profile, yeah?
everything, yeah, I'm a master admin, so I
Yes.
get this, it
Yeah.
all opens up. Oh, I bet you,
Cause we could see some stuff, but not, maybe
Yeah.
just the contact info.
somewhere in here, here, my fit. Okay, so here,
Neat.
the CCB uses the same system, spiritual gifts, passions, abilities, they don't have it in the same order, personality. Oh, I thought they used shape. Yeah, I'm confused, I'm not quite sure.
It's
what
out
I'm
of
talking
shape.
about.
No.
Maybe it's out of shape.
No.
So, I think it will though, once we're all done with it, is that those things will actually be in. And then we can even set up, sorry, I'm trying to navigate and talk at the same time. We can set up ministry positions in our ministries and designate that this kind of gift mix would be perfect here. And we can tell the system, find me people who are admins and who go to Haleiwa campus. And boom, we'll get a list of people who would like fit that ministry, things like that. So it's gonna be kind of smart. Again,
What a
get
great
inside
tool.
deal there.
Good tool.
Okay, so calendar's coming. Let's take a break before our second hour, so take like 5 minutes, and then we'll pick up on the other 3 ministries.
And Joni, what class are you gonna be teaching?
I'm gonna be, with Carrie and Myra then.
I wish they still made these, they don't.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Have you seen the ones that they made? Ricky,
Huh?
the how's your trip?
Yeah, yeah.
What'd you do?
Class.
Were you seeing family or working?
I forget what it was
Friends.
called, but we just had dinner and
My
they
first
said,
away from Hawaii.
they were gonna
No,
do
what?
the transformation.
First time on the mainland?
But I
Oh,
forget
I
what
must
it was.
be
Almost.
Maybe it's 850.
But it's probably more like Hong Kong, right?
Huh?
Yeah,
Up there. Like, because like I got stuck in traffic a lot.
Oh,
And in
I don't think it was that
That
one.
might be Carol's.
That's
Transportation.
Carol's one, I know.
Wow.
But-
You take the train, you take
I
the bus.
forget what it was. She
Yeah,
told
so-
me, but I forgot.
But besides the traffic, it's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're just gonna be helping with,
When I
helping with
grew up
them.
in Hawaii, so I'm used to
Sure.
crisp horizon lines
We're
and,
4.
you know, being able to tell where I am just by looking at the ocean and the mountains.
We
you
have
know.
the other
So when I go to the
two,
mainland, I
they
get
stay
disoriented
with their
really
mom
easily
through the
because
weekend and they're with us.
I have
on the
no way of
weekend.
telling
Okay.
And then
which
me
way's
and
north,
Jason
you
have
know,
the Sophie
but I know if like
Paisley.
Coalwells are my right, well then I know that's north,
Okay.
you know, if the Coalwells are
Okay.
left, then that's
That's
south.
what I.
Yeah,
Um,
if we had
so
all
I- you know,
4
and then
throughout
plus
the
horizon
whole
just sort
week,
of
it would be
fades
kind
away.
of
Just
hard.
land as far as you can see.
But
That's
my
weird
mom,
to me.
cause my mom watches the
So,
kids if we
weird
do
or
this stuff during the
normal?
week,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Well, I mean, I
great,
guess
yeah.
Like
it's
tonight,
normal, but
Jason's
it's,
home with Sophie and Paisley.
because I grew up here,
And
that
if me
it's
and him both here, then
I don't like that.
send
you know,
our
just
two
plus I
little
miss my
ones to
rice and, you
my
know,
mom's
like,
family.
I'm definitely, I
So
know
we
I
should
look
do-
as
it's
Howley's
so bad
a
for
baby, but I'm a
Diane.
little boy.
Oh, she's
Grew up here
by
since I was
herself.
6, so.
She's in
But then
here,
I love,
right?
sometimes I love
She's
the
in her
cool
iPad.
air, like I don't know what the
I
temperatures
know
were.
there's
It
pros
was
and cons to it, but it
I
does
like
keep her there, like
Yeah.
the other night,
Especially
oh my
lately, it's been so
goodness,
hot
was
here
like,
lately.
All over.
it's so
What's
funny.
Hong Kong like
when
for
it's
temperature?
video Diane,
Like we
he's
have
told
winter
Diane,
too.
oh
Like
no.
Hong Kong has
I
winter
get
too.
Not
But
snowy.
no.
Kinda helps though, yeah.
She wanted to be in the video.
Oh
like,
no,
we
she's,
do
no,
Celsius.
she's,
Celsius.
she's going there.
Even
so-
like here now, I'm
But,
not.
you know,
I'm
we have,
not,
we have to work
Making-
on
because like when we
that.
were there,
We have
when
it
we
well
were
Like
there,
Sophie, cause I have
like it
Sophie and
went
Paisley
to
here
maybe
when we were
like
doing
15
the
degrees
youth
Celsius.
ministry.
Oh, they were here?
Yeah, because I'm
Huh?
not
They were
very
here. Yeah.
familiar with
But they was
Fahrenheit.
messing
until
around
now.
with the drums
So I still have to
and
get
not
used to, like,
listening and all over the
Fahrenheit.
ground, I was like.
A while ago, maybe 8 years ago, until I was.
Okay, so it's the same thing too.
So I was
But
talking
it
to
was,
people all over the
Diane,
world
when she came
for a
in
while,
here,
which was a lot of
she
fun.
didn't wanna leave.
But I
but
learned
Oh,
very
she-
quickly.
She
like
wanted to
it.
stay here
I
and
need to do
Aw.
Celsius
it was,
because that's what
that
everybody gives me.
energy
If I'm
about
with
Yeah.
all the
somebody,
kids too.
you know, just about
I
anywhere
told
else
her,
other
oh
than
no,
America,
it's we're gonna
it's
see the video
Celsius. And
tonight, a little
I
bit,
used to have-
the first one.
have a
So,
little
we
computer.
all
and
left,
I would
right?
always
They
do
just
a real
see us
quick
leave. I mean, we're so
conversion, so I'd
busy
say,
here,
"Oh, it's
but
21
yeah.
degrees Celsius.
But
I'm
she
like,
wanted to stay,
"Oh,
so
it's
I had
hot."
to come in.
You know, or,
And she was like,
but I
she
can't
didn't
quite do it in
wanna
my head
go.
yet. It's like, what, 2.21
She's not
to
doing
1 or
nothing for
something
you
like that.
celebration.
I also
She's
don't
in the,
know, so like right now, if you tell me it's
What is
80
she-
degrees or like 90
Oh no, cause the only ones that are performing is Delta.
Yeah, I
Unlike-
think
Key
next
and
year,
Someone
next year she can join, I think
It's
fourth
9
grade.
outside, so
Fourth
like I would
grade,
know
right?
how
Oh,
an
I
Start
don't
at
know,
four.
I don't know
compared
the
to, like,
age limit.
50.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, yeah.
But
But like
so I think
miles
this
and
year she can
kilometers,
start.
so like in Hong
Oh,
Kong
okay.
it's kilometers.
Right, of course.
But
So
like
who's
now
gonna
I'm
replace,
used to miles compared to
Blaine?
kilometers now
Oh.
because like I
I
drive
think
more
Bell,
here than when I was in Hong Kong.
probably
Okay.
Bell and
Yeah, like
maybe
in Hong
Kanani
Kong,
or Kim.
we don't
I'm not too
really
sure.
Do
Okay, yeah, cause I
we don't really
asked several
do
people.
There's a bunch of them
distance. We usually say
that
like
would
oh
probably, but I'm
time.
not too sure.
Yeah,
Nothing's
because
really
like in
set in
Hong
stone,
Kong,
cause I asked
it's
Jason,
kinda like
he said he's not
efficient.
sure,
Yeah.
but
yeah, so
probably Bell.
like if you really
Yeah.
Okay.
like it's almost like the
I can't wait to see
buses
the
there
video
and the
though,
train system
so.
there. It's kind
Of
of
the
like school bus.
testimonies,
Like
yeah, not
you'd
testimonies
be-
of the,
if
the-
you're really gonna be
the
sticking
thank
with
yous, yeah.
your
You said the
routine,
first
you're
one.
gonna be
That's
sitting
not
next
even-
to like
What's
the
the first
people
one?
Same people.
sing
also
every
on the
day.
routine,
Can
Yeah.
you tell me who it
because,
was
like,
and I forgot right
the-
now, but we'll see it.
the
Hopefully.
One of the
transportation
kids
is
from the
very very precise.
There's supposed to be a
The bus
surprise.
system in
I guess
Hawaii
he's
is
gonna
very
share
good. I
that,
did the bus
'cause
here
I
for about 6
didn't
years,
come to
and
see
you're
that.
absolutely right,
I
you
think
just
that
get
was the
used to
first one.
the regulars on the
Mhm.
bus, and you know who's like
He
you
said it was
and
really
whatnot, and that's actually kinda comforting, cause
That's
you
why
knew,
I came
and
tonight.
if
I
somebody was
wanna see that
asleep, you
video.
know the bus stop is coming up, you wait, hey, you gotta go.
Yeah, and you know if someone was sick, you know.
Yeah.
And you know this,
Yeah.
Where you been?
the
Yeah.
conference that you
Yeah.
So
went
that's kinda
to,
cool.
that was on the
But from what I
Facebook.
hear,
The what?
Hawaii's
The
kinda
conference you
unique in
went
that our
to?
bus
Oh, yeah,
system
yeah.
is so-
That's-
Is that
Oahu's-
part of
That's
the
what
prayer
that's what they're
ministry?
saying.
No.
So I have yet to
It
try
was just
it,
a conference
but
that
I
we were
wanna try
led to
it,
go
but
on.
yeah, like my wife
Lynn
is saying.
and James then
my
were
wife
going
is saying
with
Arthur?
Sherry
buses
Cole them and
is
our
Oh,
the
Sherry
best
went
in the main
Yeah,
level.
and then the
it
Lord
doesn't
led
compare to Hong Kong.
I know.
Makoa to go, and Sherry paid for his flight from her free miles.
Like
The
they're
Lord told
if
her
they're
to.
late the train, if they're late by a
The
minute, you
Lord
would
was
already
telling
hear
us to go
like
to
a
support
warning,
Makoa
like,
because
we
they
are sorry
couldn't
for the
find
delay.
Makoa, somebody to
Yeah.
run
Wow,
with
right
and be
on.
with. So
Yeah,
If
Carol
you're gonna
said,
be
bus
oh,
precise,
show.
like
if
we're
he's
sorry
underage,
Yeah,
for the
then
delay.
fine.
If it's
So
just
under
1
18.
minute, it's just a delay.
And so,
But like over 3
right
minutes,
before we
they're
left,
gonna
he
say,
actually did
sorry,
turn 18, but then
sorry
because he
for
was
the
a
5
minor,
minutes
he was
delay.
partaking,
It's
you know,
because of
buying the
when
flight
the
and all that stuff and
Wow.
getting the hotel
I'm
room
impressed.
and
And they
this is his
announced
first
it in
time
English
actually
and
flying
French.
out there,
English,
you know.
Chinese,
Um,
Cantonese, and
serving
Mandarin.
It wasn't right for
So,
him
like,
to go
actually,
and be
we'll
by
talk to
himself
her.
when
Well, I'm
the others
just
had
actually-
rooms
Yeah, she's
with
a
each
believer.
other and all that
Did
stuff,
you
so
meet your
we
wife
were
there?
praying about it and Carol said, you know, she felt like Jason, we're supposed
Oh.
to be with him. Because Jason mentors him in the youth, yeah, Nazeo. So we prayed about it, the Lord led us to go and gave us the funds, we had a free flight, yeah. And
For blessing.
we literally
Miles.
put our faith in it because we said, Lord, if this is you and you're gonna send us and you want us to go, you're gonna give us the finances. And Jason's coworker offered to pay our way there because he does his billing for him on the side for, you know, the construction that they do, and he offered to pay him for that, to pay for the flight. And so we went up there, free flight, almost like $2,400. And so we got a free flight, and
That's
the
all
Lord just
God, man.
orchestrated everything.
Mm.
And 2 weeks before
That's
we
a
left,
God.
it was 2 weeks before. We're like,
God.
okay, God, take it.
God's timing is
We
just
purchased
right.
our, we purchased our tickets for the conference
Amazing.
before we even got our flight, by faith.
That is
Wow.
faith. That's faith.
Yeah, like, okay, we just go buy the tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow, that's a great
Yeah.
testimony.
yeah. God did his thing.
That is awesome. That is
Okay, thanks for everybody coming back. One thing, just to close out the web one that I forgot to mention, is needs. I wanted to do news, to-dos, and needs. And so we're looking for the web people. I need a partner for the website. Ideally, I would like a partner for every, like one person from every campus. We don't have that right now, but I would like somebody who would like help me shoulder the things that we need to do on the web and, you know, kind of teach them what to do. So If that's you, then let me know.
How many hours is required?
No, nothing's required.
Mm.
It's definitely a lot easier than when we started. When we were launching, I was probably putting in 8 hours a day for a week and a half to get everything spun up and built. But now that it's all built, it's just maintenance mode. And once we get the calendars off where they're automated and we're not having to enter in calendars, it's gonna be things like news that you will post. Like I'll send like an article saying, like, hey, here's a piece of text that, you know, Pastor Mike wrote. Find a picture that fits it and post it into our blog. It'll be swapping out pictures. So, for example, right now our websites say something like, oh, I was gonna show that, I forgot to show that, oh well. So like, on our websites, there's this thing, we call it a slider. And it's this big image that changes in the front. And right now my slider, so this is our current series. Well, that's about to come to an end. You know, we're about to have our last message in this series. And so Daryl just made the new piece of artwork. And so on Sunday, I have to swap this out and put in the new one saying, starting next week, Extreme Home Makeover, you know, that is in our next series. So that kind of stuff has to be done. That one can stay. You know, just little updates, just keeping it fresh, right? Like after a while, we'll get tired of looking at this, so we'll take it down. You know, something happens cool at Mililani, we want people to know about it, and then we'll post something in the news section for that. It's that kind of stuff, it's maintenance, so it's probably, definitely not hours a day, it's probably be, you know, minutes every now and then. But it's just being attentive to it. Like I do the podcasts, so that's always gonna be me, because that's media, and so I take the recordings that we do, Les actually cleans them up and puts it in roughly for me, and then I go in and I fill out all these other stuff. This will all be automated once we get the CCB calendar going, so it's just this latest news section. And you can see, honestly, that I haven't done anything since Jay Lee was gave birth for news. And I've been tending to do it on Facebook because it's just easier to do mobilely. And so like this photo gallery hasn't been changed since we did that Passover thing, so it's probably time for a new photo gallery. I'll show you how to do a new selection of photos, because we have plenty of photos. It's just a matter of me making the time for it.
Is that coming from Flickr?
It's not coming directly from Flickr, but the
But
photos
you
are
choose,
on Flickr. Yeah.
you choose what you wanna put in, yeah.
So I go to Flickr, I select what I want, or like a certain event, and then I download it, and then I switch programs, and I upload it to the website, and then it just shows up here.
Cool.
I think if we do connect. Oh yeah, view our galleries. Here's all the galleries for Mililani. So there's the Passover celebration, there's the Faces of New Hope Mililani, there was the Christmas Eve service, Ohana groups, the Legacy of Hope pictures, Men's Retreat pictures, and special events, the candlelight service. So these are, you know, just having something fresh there for people to view every time, you know, every now and then is kind of what the goal is for that. So, you thinking about it?
I think I wrote down that, you know, overcoming fear.
Yeah.
I'm not a media person, but I'm willing to learn.
Okay.
That's the key thing, and I might ask my niece to help me.
Smart.
She loves that.
Recruiting.
She's in college, right, so.
Tell you what then, I will, the next opportunity, next time I'm working on something, or need to work on something for the website, I'm gonna try to, you know, roll you into that. So I'll either like, you know, like we'll do like a Google Hangout or something like that, where I'll explain it to you. Or we'll do something together at one of our meetings where I'll just kind of begin to teach you what kind of help that I need. This really is gonna be, the best way to do this is on a need basis. So like the next time I need to do something, I'll teach you how to do it and have you do it, watch you.
I think my niece can only come on Fridays.
You know what, I don't think we need to actually physically meet.
Okay.
But we may have to get used to figuring out how to virtually meet. So
Okay.
do you have a laptop or a computer with a webcam?
Do I have a webcam? Yes, I do.
You do?
You know,
Then that's
yeah.
then that's
I
all we
never used
need.
it.
I'll I'll show you, like, we'll make either like a Skype connection or a Google Hangout connection, and then we can share screens. Do you have a Mac or a PC?
I've got a PC.
Okay, so we'll have to be like Google Hangout or Skype, and then we can, what I'll do is I'll have something up on my screen, I'll invite you to share it or to view it, and then while I talk, I'll show you what I'm doing, and you can be in the comfort of your
Okay.
home.
Okay,
You know, I'm
and
not
then
have to
if
worry
my
about
niece is with me, she can definitely,
Okay.
yeah.
How old's your niece?
Hmm?
How old's your niece?
Oh, she just started college, but she's
Oh.
really good on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
She's taking some
Millennial.
classes.
Millennial.
Yeah, she is. But she really helps out a lot.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, millennials have never known the world without the internet.
yeah.
That's true.
Crazy, I think.
The next one, 2001 and above, is actually the internet generation.
Is that what they're naming it? I never knew that. That makes total sense, though. Cool. Okay,
iGen.
iGen.
social media now.
I think they have iGen.
Ricky, do you know how well the video has done? Did you
Now
see
I
it?
can see it.
Do you understand that?
It was a
That-
big hit.
Is that views? Or
That is-
those
that-
views?
Those are views. So just to talk a little bit about the news, the Palpuiki testimony has 10.3 thousand views. It was presented to almost 20,000 people. Half of them clicked on it at some point. Now, whether they watched the whole thing or not, we don't know. And then there's other stats on how many people clicked through after that. I do know something like 150 people shared it, I think 160 people shared it on their own websites, which is why that number's so big. I
That's
learned
like
a lot.
times 200 right there.
Yeah, I learned a lot watching this thing go crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Viral.
we showed it on Sunday. Then on Tuesday at staff meeting, I was very proud of my 830 views. Because I was thinking, hey, we've had as many people viewing it online as we have, sat in services, and so that's really cool, and we're like, yay us, right? By 12 hours later, this was at 3,200 by that evening. I woke up the next morning, and it was at 6,400. And then over the course of the rest of the week, it went up to, about 10, it was like high nines, and it's definitely slowing down now. It's only going about 0.1 a day higher now, so the run is over. But watching it, what I learned was that the reason that number got so big is because the Kaupuikis have a big family. And so they put it on their personal site, and then all of their family put it on their personal sites. And so every site that it's on is a new branch of people that it contacts, right?
That's right.
So then that trickle down was happening, and people who knew the Kaupuikis were sharing it on their sites, and it went boom, it just went crazy. I've never had a video go like that. So it was a thrill, it was exciting, but it was, oh God, it was just, what a tremendous opportunity. And what I love the most about that is not the number, it's not the success of it, which is all good, but what I loved was the comments on, because there were like, 30, 40 comments on it. They were all like, basically handwritten praises to God, saying like, God is faithful and He's so awesome, and, or this couple's really nice. There were a few of those, but it was just like it was just like kicking people into praise, and that's exactly what we're here for.
Yeah,
So that's a
that's
real victory for everybody. And Ricky, I really appreciate you coming and helping with that.
Yeah, you
I
did a
know
great
that was
job,
really
Bob.
cool. It was on a Friday night. A lot of people had Ohana groups that night, and it was short turnaround. Like we heard about it, we're trying to get it done in a week later. So that's another reason. It's just like I didn't have the kind of time to spend on that I would normally would, and so it just shows, that.
You even posted the making of it, yeah?
Yeah.
I think I saw that. They clicked on it, it was like fast forward, like.
Yeah, I did a little
yeah.
time lapse.
Yeah,
thought
I
that'd
saw
be-
that.
Okay, I think everybody had a chance to see that, right? Yes. You didn't get to see it? Oh, I'm gonna show it I'll show it during the video part. It's kind of cool. So that was done really well. We're doing some new videos online called Spark of Hope, which is basically like a highlights reel. We take, for right now it's only for Haleiwa, but it's coming soon to Mililani. We take a snippet from the service that was particularly poignant, either, it was like a tearjerk moment, or it was a funny moment or whatnot, and then we share that. And we're calling it Spark of Hope, and I'm looking for people actually to help us make that, but that's again during the video side.
Sounds like the Pastor Teresa one, yeah?
The Pastor Teresa one was a Spark of Hope, and then we've got a new one. Oh, it's in Haleiwa, that's why. Hop over to Haleiwa. I don't know how many of you guys, you're like one of the more active ones on social media. I usually get Jody liked this, you know. Right away, which
I like them
appreciate.
all. Click, 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 click.
He's supposed to do the social media.
Here it is. So this is a spark of hope, I think. To see a little bit more of it.
You know, I never commit to the social media at that time because I was taking a break from it
I
for a
know.
while.
Oh,
You
yeah,
took
yeah.
not Sabbath, but
Like a fast,
fast,
from it,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
And I
right in the
wanna
middle of
commit to
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
open
you're
to the
welcome
whole
to
thing.
anytime you're ready.
Okay.
That was
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, it's a great story about how he as a dad had to hold his
That was a great,
Evangeline.
great prop.
Yeah, and he said it was completely unplanned, it just
Yeah.
happened on the spot.
Yeah.
It was on the spot. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
So, 50.
Yeah, because had Jaylee, her mom, her sister, it was all in service. So That's cool.
Wait, that was in Haleiwa.
yes,
That was, yeah, when he
Oh.
was covering for us in Haleiwa.
yeah. Oh, so that was Danny then filming that.
Yeah, that was Danny.
Oh wow.
Which is
maybe
why
she
the
come-
audio is ambient audio, because we didn't do the whole, audio connection thing. Because I didn't have the gear there, I have that little mixer, right?
Ah.
But it was fine, you can still hear it, it's a
Yeah,
little bit
okay.
echoey, but it worked out. The one I saw though, I think this might appear somewhere else, because I saw 656 views on something. And so I have to see why that's only showing 858, because that's very different. So I'm not sure where I got that number from, but I got it, pretty sure that's right, so I'm thinking that's somewhere
Pastor
else.
Teresa published that.
Maybe that's where I was seeing it from. That never rings, that's weird. Okay,
Might
I
be
don't know where I
God.
got that from, I'm gonna move on.
Might be God, you better pick it up.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I think this is
God hotline.
Yeah, I'm just gonna burn too much time trying to find it. There was Dr. Carey's video, was it
Oh, yeah.
Cambodia?
Cambodia.
It was Cambodia, right? Okay, I wasn't sure about the country. It's gotten 566 views, and that was edited by Tori. Tori's been expressed an interest in joining Spark, but she ran up to a conflict with, she's joining a Ohana group at the same time as she also wanted to join Spark, and she knows that I'm kind of asking for a commitment to Spark. And so she wasn't sure she can make that commitment. So for now, she's just gonna join the Ohana group, and, but I do know that she's gonna do the next missionary slideshow for Pastor Earl and Carol Miyashiro, who just came back from Thailand? Philippines.
Who went?
So she's gonna do
Both of
that.
them?
One,
Oh,
two.
just Auntie Carol.
And she's using iMovie to
I
do
don't
it.
even know what she's using, honestly. I
Oh,
just
okay.
asked her for the files and she sent me the files.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not quite sure what she is, but I got to meet her for the first time last night.
Mhm.
A lot of us did. And then Mike Corley's video has gone up to 1.5K, which is fantastic too. The to-dos for social media is
Mhm.
basically just trying to keep up with it.
I know.
The thing about social media is it's relentless.
Yeah.
It's just like, like we tried to do a burst, and that helped, it got us ahead. But then it's just like, you just have to keep on it. You just have to okay, build more, send it out, build more, send it out, build more, send it out. And there's no real break to that rhythm, it's just relentless. And so
Yeah, it's good.
we have a Trello board, and there's things that are coming that are due on it. And I think basically what's gonna happen is the alarms will ring saying, hey, this is gonna be done, it needs to be done in 24 hours, and probably somebody will get to it and build
Okay.
it. But just keeping up with it is probably our biggest to-do for social media. Needs, did I write anything down? Ideally, I would like one
Yep.
social media person for each campus, just like the website. Somebody who could just handle Wahiwa. I'll do Wahiwas. In fact, for Wahiwa, you don't even have to do the Instagrams, because Lulu and them's got the Instagram covered. So it's just basically Twitter and Facebook. And honestly, from what I'm seeing in the numbers, Twitter isn't all that important. There's not a lot of our people on Twitter. We're mostly Facebook crowds and Instagram crowd. Kennison, got an issue?
Yeah, I don't know why it says battery 10%, but it's plugged in, so I don't know. So it stopped
What's the keep up?
streaming.
Like, what is that?
Events, current events.
So like whatever's happening, you would just post it on
Yeah.
the website.
There it is, it wasn't pushed in far
We
enough.
use Hootsuite.
Okay, so that little lightning bolt showed up next to the battery,
Yeah,
so now it's working.
It blasted to all our social media.
So we should be okay. Keep an eye on it.
One place.
yeah.
So it makes it a
Good
little
stuff.
more organized and easier. So keeping up is that, just
2 points for Kennison for stopping the meeting
is
for an
make
important
sure
reason.
our event, that way you can
That
preload
was good.
stuff, and then you can have it scheduled. But it's,
Explaining Hootsuite?
yeah, and it just, she was asking, you know, what is it
What does
that
it
needs to
mean
be done
keep up?
for keeping up, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's events you can preload, but just every service, we have photography and then you gotta keep it fresh, yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta post daily,
yeah.
yeah. So it's,
And it's just here's what happens is people come on board and they get excited
in the beginning,
and they get like 2 good weeks. And then we're down to like, 1 post a week. And then, are they still helping? I'm not sure. I haven't heard from them for a while. It just happens like that. And it's not any one person. It's just, that's the way this is. It's hard to be excited about something all the time.
yeah.
And that's kind of what this needs to be. And so
Yeah.
what we try to do, at least we're trying to figure out how to do, is we're trying to set up these, what we call the Hootsuite party. But then we had a technical problem with that. A Hootsuite party is, we make a big deal out of it, we make it really fun, we get hopefully a whole bunch of people together, and that's kind of what this needs to be. And then we schedule out like 4 months of all the stuff that's in the calendar, everything we can predict. So upcoming holidays, upcoming church events, series, and we build it all out while we're all excited, and we make it fun, and then that like backbone structure will just run, and then we can just pick up along the way. But what we found was that our tool wasn't letting us all log on and all build stuff at the same time. Since then, I found out that Facebook, you can schedule posts directly in Facebook. So we could all log on to Facebook and build posts out and give them a date to air.
Really?
Yeah. Twitter can't, I don't think, and Instagram. Hootsuite, oh no, that's different. Hootsuite just took on YouTube. So at least for Facebook, we could do a Facebook party and program everything into Facebook in one sitting with a whole bunch of people and pull that off. But the Hootsuite wasn't working unless, here's where they get you. If you sign up everybody for Hootsuite and they all are paying members and you make them a part of a team, then you can. But that's prohibitively expensive
Yeah.
to have everybody be, because it's not a free service. So we're trying to figure that out. So for now, what we have is we have a big list of to-dos, and then we just address it when any of us get a chance to.
Yeah.
But we could use help just keeping ahead of it. Basically what that looks like on Trello.
A lot of it too is like when people comment and
Well,
you
gotta
wanna
comment
you
back.
wanna build connection, because you know on social media it's as an organization it's not just one way. You're not just
Yeah.
always blasting information. People wanna connect. You know, you like their stuff, they like yours, and you wanna feel like there's real people behind it. So that's where it's keeping up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maddie did a great
And
job.
commenting and
Yeah.
on other people's stuff. Yeah.
Maddie did a great job the
Yeah.
other day on Corey Ida's Instagram page. She's a regular poster of North Shore, often underwater imagery, just beautiful stuff. And she commented as New Hope Haleiwa, cool shot, where was that? And she responded, and they had like this little conversation in the
Oh,
comments.
she did?
That was really
I
good.
didn't even know that.
And that's the kind of stuff you want. You want to engage, right?
Engagement
And
is
so she
important.
did a real good job with that.
Yeah.
So this is our to-do list for the social media Trello page. Should land it on my
All
notes.
right.
So we have graduation Sunday, so this is due May 1st. We have a new series coming up, and I
Is that the
attached the
graduation you're
images.
talking about?
That one we're honoring all graduates from all at all levels.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is an Omni one as well, the finale of Daring Faith and promoting the next series. And so the artwork's already here if you need it for Instagram.
Oh, it's already. We can just pull from there.
that's
you
the
can go
next
right there.
series?
Okay.
What is it called?
So
Stream Home Makeover.
I'll get busy
Oh.
on Hootsuite.
Well, I don't want it to be, I'm not pointing fingers or anything.
Yeah.
We all need to be busy
Yeah.
keeping up with it.
Me too.
But yeah, if you need the image, you just hit the card and then say, here's the file.
Is that new that you guys are doing?
Hmm?
Or is that new where you make it really convenient to get it?
You know what?
Cause you know how
Daryl and I-
before we used to go to Dropbox and you gotta go look for it and then.
Right. Daryl and I operate this way, is I send him raw files, everything via Trello, and then he would send me like approval images back.
Cool.
Looks like we're back to being slow again, the internet. So I have to actually animate this logo, for this weekend. So we'll be premiering this logo, this weekend for the announcements. But,
Rich,
yeah,
just so you know, that's what I'm getting.
yeah, something had just, when I loaded, you
Weird.
see how slow that loaded?
Yeah.
Our internet just went.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what it is then.
So, you know what, it is what it is.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna invest into you guys here, made it in person. But look at this list, this is everything that we have kinda wanted to, comment
It's a
on,
task just to create the list.
Just
yeah.
for social media, that's,
just social media.
oh my gosh.
So like,
Yeah.
you know, Arbor Day, we would make a little joke about trees or something like that, you know, May Day is May 1st, we need to have that done by April 28th.
It just
May.
gives us, you take all the holidays, that gives us content.
Yeah.
But then we plug other stuff in between, you
Yeah.
know, like
It's like, so this is the holiday section, then we get past it, then we have on the Hootsuite all of our Allspark meetings, and different team meetings that we have. Our next programming party is in July, then we have birthdays, although I started that and there weren't very many birthdays I could figure out, so I'm actually kind of abandoning birthdays, I probably should take those off. And then just here's cool ideas, you know, what if we did a poll about what could you not live without, caffeine or chocolate? You know, basically just trying to get people engaging.
Yeah,
with the
ask
website.
questions.
Who do you know that you respect and why? What was New Hope's Milani's or when was New Hope Milani's first service? Kind of trivia questions, you know, stuff like that. So nothing has to be aired, but the more we can have fresh content every time they check, the better.
So people would just go to it and click it to see
Yeah.
what's it about.
You know, the sin of the internet is if they come back 2 or 3 times and it's the same thing every time, they stop coming back, right? So
It has to be fresh,
it has to
yeah.
keep it fresh, and that's why it's relentless.
The Hootsuite, not Hootsuite, but the Facebook scheduling,
Yeah,
it just allows you only to schedule one though.
one at a time.
Uh,
So I can schedule videos that way, you know, like when we had the, in fact, I think it was the Kapwikis video. I finished it on Friday, they approved it, but I didn't wanna show it before Sunday. And so I just scheduled to air on Facebook, cause that was the weekend we were away. I just scheduled to air on Facebook at noon on Sunday. So without me touching it again, when all the services were done, it was auto-posted to Facebook and it worked.
Oh, okay.
So when you say one at a time, you can't schedule one video and then schedule the next video at a different date?
You can do that.
Oh, okay.
But what you can't do is say, I'd like this post to air on Thursday and Sunday unless you did it like, I want to air on Sunday.
One by one.
One by one.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's how I'm ending up using Hootsuite.
Yeah, anyway.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought Hootsuite was like this master, you know, here's like your master tweet, and then you can change it to say, you know, next week, this week, tomorrow, today, and it would just like auto schedule it for you for the best times, and it doesn't work that way.
But you can at least do it to more than one Facebook page, right?
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so like if I'm putting out a blast saying, you know, like we just had a tsunami warning that was not a warning, right? But let's say it was, then I would go into Hootsuite and I would select every web page, every Twitter site, everything I could post on and say, hey folks, there's a tsunami coming, Sunday services might be canceled this week, you know, and blast it to the entire church in one easy step. Hootsuite's good for that.
Yeah.
And it's good for like if I wanted to send something to all the websites. What I'm
Like
finding
water
is
baptism,
yeah,
send it to all. Yeah.
Omni things.
So like, for the Facebook one then, if you can preload it.
Yep.
So if you wanted to, could you actually put like a scripture of the day kind of thing?
Yep.
To help people, maybe just something, maybe
Here,
today is
we'll
patience,
do one real quick.
tomorrow is perseverance, and you just give them a scripture, so people just start off their morning or.
Or maybe you take a quote from that day's journal reading, you know, the New Hope Journal reading, and you could have that go on. Here's what I'll do real quick. Thanks to all who came to the Allspark meeting in person or online. Okay? And I'm going to, rather than publish it, I'm going to schedule it.
Oh.
And I'm gonna make it air tonight at 9:05. Schedule.
And this is via what, Facebook?
That's just right on the Facebook interface, yeah.
Oh, there, schedule.
Oh, I didn't even know that was an
Yeah,
option.
that's new, yeah.
But you can even do the same with pictures or videos.
Maybe a picture of
So that's a nice feature to do one at a time.
That's why it's funny when people go on vacation, you'll see like all these posts at once. It's like they don't space it out. You know, they just blast. It's like, oh, again. Oh, okay, enough already.
20 pictures of Disneyland.
All in a row, yeah. It's like a blast, yeah.
Actually, so you could post
So
a
it's
scripture
nice to schedule it maybe
this morning, like,
one a day or not like
maybe on,
10 at
It's on your home
within
news
5
feed.
minutes.
and just take a scripture and just put it in, the scripture, something
You-
trust and
Yep.
then maybe at the end just say have a blessed day.
Yep.
And it's.
You could have an afternoon of just building a bunch of those for like a month's worth.
Just
Yeah.
take this. Something
Just
that
have
people
30
just-
scriptures, copy and paste it out of a Word document. You know, you could probably do it in an hour and have, 30 days worth of posts built in.
Yeah.
Facebook.
So I don't have to
I
get
don't
up
see Twitter doing that yet.
4 o'clock in the morning.
But we could do it through Zoom.
Yeah, you can schedule it.
Okay, I need to pick up the pace just a little bit, so that's it for social media. So needs is just, I would love to have a social media person on every campus. So if that's you, whether in person or online, let me know. It all starts with you letting me know. Okay, photography team is gonna be quick. I'm gonna do it quick. Photo team, so Frida is now on our photo team, not Friday, sorry.
On
F-R-E-I-D-A.
Oh, news, yeah.
Yeah, on news. So Frida has joined our photography team. She
Wow.
she ran around with the camera at Haleiwa and she did a great job.
Yep.
And we posted those pictures. Let's look at pictures when we do this. I'm gonna cheat and, oh, that's not what I want to do. Go back to Retina and then turn off airplane. Stop trying to help me. This is the fast way. So, by the way, every Apple TV in the facility now, for their screensaver, instead of showing you stars or elephants, now shows our pictures. So every Apple TV is connected to our Flickr account, and as new pictures get loaded, they're automatically folded into all the TVs here. And then we do the same thing at Haleiwa. Haleiwa's, our screens and our announcement screensavers are always the latest pictures.
Oh.
And so all you photography people are getting a lot more exposure for your pictures, rather than just like feeling like you're throwing them into a black empty bucket called Flickr and never seeing the light of day again. They're gonna be airing everywhere at an Apple TVs and standby mode. So that's cool, and so thank you for that. I'm gonna skip the review some photos part, because we're running out of time, and then I mentioned the screensavers on the TVs. Okay, to-dos. On May 22nd, we have baptism. That's a tough day for me because I had already scheduled my son's graduation on May 22nd. I will not be at the baptism. In fact, I will actually be here at church because we rented the sanctuary for his graduation party. So when you guys are at the baptism, I'm going to be making my way here to actually begin setting up and decorating and stuff. So what we've been asked for is to have 3 photographers, 1 for each campus, at the baptism to capture the group pictures, the moment, and then the after pictures. And not have to, the reason we would do 1 for each campus is so that they don't have to worry about, oh wait, I'm missing that one over here, oh, I'm missing this one, because they're all gonna be like simul going. So it'll be like the Haleiwa people are gonna be going, the Waiwa, and the Milani people. So we need 3 photographers.
Did Darryl mention anything about this, about going or?
I think he knows. I'm kind of counting on him to go if he can.
Mhm.
But I actually can't say for sure that he has or not yet.
Okay.
So, and this does require a long lens. So the iPhone probably would work for the group shots, but it wouldn't work for out in the water unless somebody goes out there with like a water protected iPhone or something like that. The water protected iPhone would be kind of interesting though. But yeah, so what we need is by this date, we need 3 photographers. And so I'm asking for the photography ministry folks to see who could go that. I can donate a camera, because there's a church camera that I bring to Haliva, so somebody can take that camera, as long as they're comfortable with the camera and not afraid of it. But we're also gonna need, 2 more. I'm hoping Daryl will be one. Well, my camera was somebody, Daryl could be one, and I'm looking for one more. Probably, I'm gonna ask Ulu if she actually, I'm not sure if Ulu's gonna be the one or not. 'Cause she takes pictures of Wahiwa, but I need to make sure that these people are gonna be there and gonna be able to take pictures. So that's our needs for photo ministry. Any questions on that? Sorry for blazing through photos. I gotta say though, I love looking at everybody's pictures. I do that every Sunday as I call it up and see what was happening at all the campuses, and they've been really cool. Okay, the last one is video team. Okay, so this one's probably getting the most involvement, which has been fantastic. I was so pleased last night to have crew people show up, with Amy and Kennison and his wife Rochelle, and David near the end was fantastic, just to have people showing up there willing to help and working hard, and then being a part of something kind of cool. I promised you guys I would show the clip, so I better deliver it. Okay, a little bit of backstory on this. Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah, switch back.
Hopefully our internet's okay, and we'll get a good signal. Okay, so this is Ashley, I believe is her name. And Ashley is Stephen Ho's daughter. And as you guys may or may not know,
I see the resemblance now.
they went through a really tough family time this year. And so this is Ashley talking to her dad about this. And apparently, well, you're going to hear the story. It's pretty cool. This was the very first interview of the night, because she wanted to do it and then be gone before he arrived. And so check this out. Please play smooth. Okay, good. This is raw, yeah?
Oh, it's not streaming? It is streaming.
From here.
My dad doesn't, okay, wait. My dad doesn't like sports, and he doesn't like watching movies, and he doesn't like to exercise, and he doesn't like poor planning. But I do know my dad likes coming to church on Wednesday nights with the youth. He likes youth camps. I know he likes socializing and fellowshipping with people in and outside of church. And I know my dad, my dad loves each and every one of you and my mom. And I think that's why he's held on for so long to the youth ministry and has taken it where it has gotten for my mom. And I know if she was here, she would tell you she's really proud of you, Dad. And she's really proud of you, Auntie Lee. I just think it's amazing that it started in our garage with like 12 kids, and my dad kind of just running security and just not really involved, and to see him go from that to now here in the Rise Center and him get excited every Wednesday, like getting the drinks ready, getting our house ready when people come over to plan is really amazing. And my prayer for you, Dad, is that you find something, since I know this is coming to an end, that you're just as passionate about as you are these kids, and about Mom, and about just the future of the church and our youth. And I think a lot of it is God's timing too, where it's a funny story. I met a woman on set, and at first thing in the morning, we kind of clicked. Like, I got lost, and she kind of helped guide me. And now that I think about it, like, I don't know if that's like a metaphor for what's happening now. But she was super easy to talk to, and we started talking about my dad, and we started talking about my mom and everything that's happened in like just the past 2 years. And she asked me, she said, have you ever accepted Jesus Christ into your heart? And I kind of had to think, and I was like, yeah. But then I was honest with her, and I said, but when I did, it wasn't for myself. It was really for my dad, it was for my mom, it was for show, I guess. And I never really did it for myself, so she asked me that day if she could pray over me, and if I would accept him into my heart. And I agreed, and right there on set in front of, like, all these people, we did, and it wasn't this big, huge deal. It was just this silent moment, just me and her and 2 other women. And I'm so thankful for that day, and just the timing of everything, because now my dad has Wednesdays free, so I feel like now he can, like, we can have our own Bible study together, or we can have these discussions and kind of build our relationship again. And now with the blessing from God, and Titus is gonna start preschool at Grace Fellowship in the fall, and it's just then I get to have those conversations with him too, and it's really like all God's timing, really. So thank you, Dad. Thank you, Auntie Lei. I wanted to add one thing about you, Auntie Lei, is I remember my mom saying that you were her first real best friend, and that's so strange for a woman in her 40s to say, because you would think she's had these long, lasting, wonderful friendships all her life, but she said that you were her true best friend, and I'll never forget that. Okay.
Wow, that was cool.
Wow.
I was hiding behind the camera with my eyes getting all misty, and I didn't want her to be distracted by me, because I told her, I was literally like putting the camera between me and her so that she can see my eyes. And I thought, man, if they're all gonna be like this, I'm gonna be a mess.
Oh.
So yeah, that
Where
was
are all of those gonna run? Are you?
We're all gonna run May 6th on Friday.
What is happening with the youth ministry then? Is it coming to an end, that's it?
I actually don't really have the answers.
No
for
more-
that. Do you know any more than I?
It usually ends when the end of school.
And then it starts up again?
It starts up again on when the school year begins again, for the next school year.
Oh,
But Steve and Leigh are done serving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Lei for sure is taking a year off, not gonna do anything, and I think Steve also is
Yeah.
gonna be just
Cause they've been at it for a long time
9
now.
years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for sure.
So they're praying for people to step up for next year then, yeah?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not clued in quite on what's happening in that world. Okay, I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. This is particularly for the video ministry guys. I wanted to inspire you. You never know, what's the video that we talked about, the Kapuiki video, when it's like something's gonna really take off. So I saw this and I said, I just gotta show this tonight. So here.
I like it.
watch a movie about snappies. Can I have three
What's
tickets?
going on?
Molecular level. This is talent. Why are we not representing the truth? Okay, on an iPhone. Wake up, people. That's poetry. And the winner is, no surprise here, onions.
That's a commercial.
iPhone commercial?
Yeah. I saw this.
Cutting
It's a
onions.
commercial for the 4K video and
Yeah.
iPhone 6s now.
Did you just
Yeah.
pick that up from YouTube or something?
Yeah, somebody, who sent
They
that to me?
posted it. Oh.
Was it Kat? Oh, was it Ricky? Did you send it to me? Oh, you're saying hi.
No, I just.
Yeah, somebody sent that to me, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I gotta share this with
Yeah.
everybody, so I figured I'd
I
save it.
just saw it.
I saw it on commercial.
Oh, so they're going 4K.
Yeah,
The
they're
new
4K.
iPhone.
Pastor Early, you just missed.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say hi and see everybody. You know.
I'm not gonna play it because it's too long to play again, but I wanted you to at least see it. Did I close it? I did close it. Let me get to it fast.
Sessions. I didn't get that 861 from Milani from the time we. When
From
is?
5 weeks ago, from the last time we met as Allspark. You're talking about, what are you talking
The
about?
the stats.
Yeah.
In
stats.
red.
The,
Yeah.
the chart
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah, so 601 people are using the NHCO website, and they had 863 sessions. We're up 32% from 5 weeks, from the previous 5.
That yeah, that's great to know that the percentage. So people are catching on.
Yeah, people are, everything's growing, but just Wahio was down 4%. But
Okay.
that might be because they had a really good previous
Okay.
session.
Okay.
So, here's what I want, forgive me for just a moment, I did want Pastor Earl to see what it looks like. Holiday and Stephen, clips, and arranged by date. It's the first one.
Oh, this is for the farewell.
And she asked
Not
me,
farewell,
she
but-
said, have you ever accepted, which is a silent moment, just me and her and two
So that's
other
what
women.
that one looks
And
like. We just played the whole clip, I'm not gonna play it all again, but it was really touching. and
Tear
we had to
jerker.
get the commitment. So,
Ashley is sharing about. I'm just guessing.
How old is she? She's like high school.
No.
She's in college.
she is,
No.
she has, Titus is her son.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay. So she's
about-
probably late 20s.
No, not late.
She's
Maybe.
telling Stephen that she accepted the Lord in this video.
For
Yeah.
herself, for her,
She describes
For
it
herself.
for
For
herself.
herself.
She said the first time she did
The
it.
first time
for
she
show.
did it, she just did it for her dad
For
and for her
parents.
mom, but not
But
really for
so
herself.
when was that decision that she said she
It
accepted?
sounds recently,
Man.
so that's.
And then she hasn't told Steven that.
No, she hasn't told him in person yet. So this will be how she's telling you. Yeah.
Oh, you gotta film his reaction.
Well,
when
that
he
actually-
watches
that actually brings
it.
up a little bit of what's happening. what we're doing.
Give him a box of Kleenex.
You gotta catch his reaction.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because,
Wow.
now, okay, so just today, Belle asked if we could videotape the
Youth
day,
celebration.
the youth celebration. And, cause she wants to make DVDs of it and stuff. And, I'll be honest, a DVD is a big project, and I don't really do DVDs, and it's a very busy time, and so I was a little resistant to the DVD idea, but here's what I offered her, and I don't know if she's gonna accept or not. We could live stream record the entire event. And so we would do that more even than we did for Easter. So we could have the live stream computer with the overhead camera, but we could also have a portable camera that could move around, which is basically gonna be an iPhone, and we could have another camera connected as well that would also be HD. And then what we could do is we could play that video and then put Steven in a insert box at the same time, so we could actually see his reaction to her
That's gonna
video.
play at the youth celebration.
That's gonna play after the celebration,
Oh,
so,
okay.
well, all the thank yous, but I think this one that I just had shown everybody is probably gonna be the last one.
Yeah, got it.
Wow.
Because it will be distracting if it's the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
Well,
You
in fact,
gotta-
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
I don't want to hear anything else.
So there's lots of kids saying thank you and wonderful things, and staff people saying thank you, or, for their service and stuff, but I think that's gonna be the finale.
That would be a,
Yeah.
And
Yes, the grand
and
finale.
from there,
There you
we'll
go.
just,
we call
but
it,
then what we could do is, like, when that starts to play, we could actually bring his image up then inset it into the video. So you can actually see him watching the video for the first time, which would be really cool, but it requires a little bit of our coordination. So that's one of our to-dos that I'm looking for help with is if she says, yes, let's do that, which I hope she does because it would be cool, on May 6th, I'm gonna need camera people.
Ooh, and you get to watch this one go viral.
Yeah, good,
And
potentially.
that's better than DVDs, cause you can always research it and.
Yeah, with their permission, now, I wouldn't do that without asking her, but if she
Yeah.
gives me her permission to post it on social media after this event's over, I would like
Or
to do that.
YouTube, and then everybody can download it from there.
Yeah, yeah. Although I'm finding that if I post a video to Facebook, I get way more traction than if I post it to YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
But,
Or YouTube video on Facebook, same
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
So, is there anybody available on Friday, May 6th, to run basically an iPhone camera? Or two?
You just wanna stand there and just. hold
Well,
it?
actually, okay, let me tell you what my plan is. If I had my full plan, I would have the built-in camera that shows the stage, that would always be there. I would have an iPhone camera on a stability mount that I have. So it'd be a grip with a little counterbalance and a mount, and you could actually travel and you're completely wireless. So you
Oh,
can go all through the
that's the
crowd.
fun cam.
And yeah, you get to be all creative and do the, come
Oh,
from behind the bushes shot. And then I'll have
That sounds fun.
another camera,
We should do it.
HD camera on a tripod, possibly close to the corner where I'm at, feeding into the system as well. So I would have three cameras, a 3-camera shoot. But we would have to coordinate that when that video starts to play, my iPhone cameraman has to be near Steven, steady as a rock, showing Steven's face so that I can get it all cropped in time so that I could do the inset. So I'm looking for, if this event becomes a go, I'm looking for at least 2 camera people on 5/6 Friday.
I'm gonna be on the mainland.
What time is it?
So it's at six.
You gonna be on the
It says at 6:30,
Okay, and it probably ends at
like,
9?
I think 9.
9. So 6:30 to 9.
But Rich, whoever has your phone, gotta save some battery for that last part.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yes.
remember it.
You're right. What we could do is we could,
'Cause-
True.
And
No,
get
I
the
learned
battery
that-
pack, the battery
I learned that
pack,
this
yeah.
past week when I was at your guys' service.
Yeah,
Because
he
Bree
came
ran
down
out
now,
of battery.
Khalifa.
yeah, she did,
Yeah,
yeah. 'cause we were
He was
experimenting
watching the
with
production, huh?
yeah. I was like, whoa.
That was
Yeah,
kinda cool, by the way. I don't think I got a chance to show
Yeah,
you
I told you,
that.
yeah.
What am I trying to do?
Oh yeah, you could put in that little battery.
So look what Bree did.
I think,
Okay, fast.
I think I need to rejoin the video ministry.
We have a lot of fun in the video ministry. We
I know,
work hard, but we get to
originally.
see a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
In its raw states.
You mean, at service, you mean, right? The videos,
Oh,
No, we're
just-
talking about like the interviews.
the interviews, yeah, yeah, no, that's
I mean, like, we got to hear the entire Kalpawiki testimony, right? Nobody else got to hear everything.
Right.
Only
you and
folks-
Ricky Tan, right?
Me and Ricky Tan got to hear the
Yeah.
whole thing. So that's pretty cool. But then like we get to hear all the thank yous, like, some of the thank yous we have to cut for time because there's probably 15 to 20 minutes worth of thank yous. So we'll have to figure out how to condense that. But we tried this for the first time. We had a hosted open on our YouTube. We were trying to do a YouTube and Facebook Live. And you'll see the funny start that we had.
Okay.
Oh no, it's working. Go ahead and say hi.
Welcome to New Hope Haleiwa. I am Bree. Welcome.
She's
We're so
gorgeous,
glad to
man.
have you all with us today.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to be going through the Dairy Faith series, and we're going to be continuing with that. It's a really great series. Hope you stick around. We're trying all these new
These are Periscope
technology
hosts.
devices today. So today's our first day of going to Facebook Live and to YouTube, and no longer Periscope. So we're really excited to have you with us on this new endeavor. If you want more information about us, where to visit us, how to contact us, any prayer requests, we have our website, nacohaleiwa.org.
Good
You
job.
can visit us and have all that kind of
Sent the
information
glance
on
down.
there. So welcome everybody. We're so excited to have you all, and I'm just gonna walk around and we have our
That's the
countdown.
reality of, right? It's delayed, right?
2 minutes left.
What's happening there, this is the very first time we did a lot of new things this day. So one of the new things is a new computer.
Oh, okay.
And the new computer, although it has a better processor, it has half as many cores in that processor. And it turns out that it was working as hard as it could. I could see the the meter was pegged at 100, and it wasn't able to compress fast enough, and so to keep up, it had to drop frames.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna try next week is I'm gonna try the same setup, but with this computer, which has more cores, and hopefully it'll be better. But I'm trying to determine if it really is the computer's problem, or if it's the internet connection problem. So we're trying to figure that out. Haleiwa's always been the guinea pig. We're working things out of Haleiwa so that I can bring it to every place once we learn what kind of computer. And we only got 5 minutes left, so I just wanted to wrap up a little bit. But that was new for us, and Bree did a great job, and she stops talking right when the worship starts. And so it's like a natural handoff to Micah.
Yeah, that was great.
And then just so you hear our audio too, because we work really hard on our audio. Let me just jump ahead. It's still gonna have the delayed video frames though. Great, quiet moment. Switch to another spot.
You guys always have choir?
No, only on the last Sunday.
Family Sunday, the last Sunday. You never get to visit yet because you're always busy over here.
I could.
Only if you're on Sabbath time.
What do you mean, guest speaker?
Yeah. That is so cool how the PowerPoint is on the.
Yeah, so now that's something new too, is
That
we
is
figured out a
awesome.
new way to get the presenter onto our video stream. Okay, I'll find a more upbeat part.
So that's what's the plan for here then, right?
Yeah, we solved it here too. By solving
It's
it here, we
coming.
solved it for Mililani as well.
Wow.
Which was our problem we were having at Easter, we couldn't figure out how to do it at Easter.
Yeah. Because that would be better to have where I can see them and read, rather than just go to the,
Yep.
yeah.
If it's not too small, you think about the sizes and all, right?
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, in fact, Bradley hadn't quite figured it out yet at this point, then he brought it in right around here, where he brought it in like an inset. And if we jump to like Pastor Glenn.
I can read that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I can read that. It's not that small.
And here's like Pastor Glenn's presentation, he built his own keynotes.
Yeah.
So this is coming off of his laptop from the front. So we had the ProPresenter sending wireless video, we had Pastor Glenn's laptop sending wireless video, then we had Bree's cameras doing crowd reaction shots, and then we had our primary camera. But all of those sources all had to be digested, and that's why we're getting the video.
Compression and all
So audio is steady, but the video is, we were averaging 10 to 15 frames per second. So 10 frames a second is really slow.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's rough. Just to finish up video team before, as I do want to get you out of here at 9. Okay, so I'll show you the time, you'll have to catch the time lapse on our Spark later. I was gonna show it now, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna skip it.
I'll catch you later.
Spark of Hopes we're doing now, which is the highlight reel, we've talked about that already. Mililani live stream, Kennison's gonna be a key part of helping us get Mililani on live stream. We did it for Easter, the gear's in place, we just learned a bunch of new things in Haleiwa last weekend. So Kennison's gonna be going to help his daughter, or have her graduate and kind of get her settled in her new place, right? That's the case, right? So when he comes back, we're gonna be ramping up to having people do Mililani's live stream, so that you guys will also be on Facebook Live and YouTube Live simultaneously. And that's what's gonna feed the Spark of Hope highlight reels, is we'll be able to take little snippets of that. So we're trying to figure that out right now, so you can be praying for Kennison and us as we build a team. We have to find people who will do it and figure out what do we actually need to do. I think we've decided it's just gonna be one service, that it needs to be live streamed, we don't have to do all of it.
A quick question, so did you actually live stream the Easter service
I did actually live stream the Easter service.
with
That's
the,
on YouTube.
with the new computer?
Yep.
And it worked okay?
It worked okay, it worked great, but I had to do it in a way that I could not teach somebody to do it. It was very complicated.
Oh, okay.
I had to create an invisible third monitor that you couldn't actually see, but then I could route back into, like fold it back in on itself. It was this kludge of a setup that Bradley figured out, which was, I give him a lot of credit.
Wow.
And so he was able to make me understand it so I could execute it. But it worked, but I would not inflict that on anybody.
But you couldn't try,
That's
I mean, because you could, I mean, oh, so you're gonna see whether it's the internet down there, cause you could try that computer over here and see if it works.
Last Tuesday, I set up that thing and I got it to work, I know that it works. I did not stream it though to test the frame rate.
Oh, okay.
So you're right, I still have to do that, but the wireless video from the ProPresenter to the live stream computer definitely works now,
Oh, okay.
here. And it works in the exact same way it did here, so. And the darn thing is, it would have worked on Easter if I knew about it.
Right.
You know, the capability was there, but my understanding of it wasn't.
Yeah, well, we didn't tell people it was gonna be live streamed, right? So that's
Yeah.
the thing, and
Yeah.
there was no expectation.
Yeah.
Well, and it was live streamed, it just didn't have the graphics. I wanted the graphics and
Right,
the roll-ins
right.
to come straight from Carl, and instead I brought them in myself. And we pulled it off, but it was not
Yeah.
something I would teach somebody how to do, it was just really complicated. And then the Lay and Steve Mahala video is coming up, we're in the midst of, and that's gonna air on the 6th, which we've already talked about. So what I need help with, I would like someone to help me with Omni announcements and the Spark of Hope highlights. I mentioned this to the video team last time we met, was I would really like somebody who can edit to help me build the announcements on a weekly basis. They have to be done by Saturday at noon. And then to be able to early each week, look at the videos from one of the, or hopefully have a little written piece of paper saying, take this segment from each service's message and make a little 2-minute or less video for social media that'll be posted that week as a Spark of Hope like we've been doing. And that's actually probably the easiest editing to do. It would just be a matter of taking the segment down from YouTube and then putting on a logo at the front, a logo at the back, maybe a little bit of music in the middle, and then pushing it out to social media. So looking for help here from an editor. Baptism, in the same way that we wanted to have video or photos for each campus, we're also looking for video of each campus. And so again, we'll need somebody who can videotape for the baptism. So that's something that we're looking to, that's 522.
Viral.
We talked to you already about the Lay and Steve live stream, that's pending approval. If that happens on 5/6. And then we have this upcoming week, probably, we're gonna be doing Extreme Home Makeover Series promos. And we're wanting to do that in a construction site on video. So instead of having Pastor Mike as a voiceover over internet video that I pull down, we're actually have him with
With his hard hat.
with his hard hat on, walking through, because each message in the Extreme Home Makeover series is part of the process of building a home. So if we can find, what we're trying to find right now is a home that's under construction or about to be demolished or something in that range, where he can have his hard hat on and be giving the promo as he sort of strolls to this house under construction. And so, once we get that secured, that's gonna be really cool. And we know a lot of construction people in church that will probably be able to connect us up to something like that. So we're hopefully gonna be shooting that sometime this upcoming week. So you may be seeing a blast coming out on email saying, hey, we've got a date, we're gonna be shooting this date, it might be in the middle of the day, it might be evening, I'm not quite sure when we'll get access. But if you guys can respond to that for the video team, that would be great. And that ends my meeting, and I'm 3 minutes over. Any questions before we close?
What time is the May 6th thing?
That's 6:30 to 9.
I would say between 6 and 6:30 they would start, but I think it's till 9, yeah.
So for us, we would wanna be there early, so
And
we're
it's
probably-
here, yeah?
And it's here. It's gonna be
I'm
in Bain
free.
Sanctuary. You're free?
I'm free.
Thank you, Ricky. Okay, so I'm gonna put you on, if that happens, which I suspect it will.
Wait, you mean, the live, that's the actual,
That's the actual, so they want us to cover the event as it happens live and all the hulas and all the dances.
doesn't it happen in Waina?
It's gonna be at Why now?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's not here,
Yeah.
It's not here.
not here.
I did not know that.
Where's that?
Oh, no, Ricky.
That's the high, that's the elementary school behind the high school.
It's at Mililani Wa'ena?
Yeah.
Yeah, Waina.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's the first
In
time I've
the
ever heard.
cafeteria.
In the cafeteria. So, we'll find it together, Ricky. Oh, no, wait a minute.
By Rec 1.
Okay, that changes everything though.
Oh, yeah, now you can't do the
I don't know
camera,
that,
you don't
because
have the camera.
I thought all along it was here.
No,
But that means I won't have the kind have high-speed internet that I'll need to do live streaming.
Yeah.
But I could do a record to Drive, so if I brought the gear, let me think this through.
How do you go live, yeah?
Can't go live, I can't
Right.
reliably go live.
Yeah, not reliably.
So, but I wouldn't need, it doesn't have to be live, it just needs to
Yeah.
be recorded.
Just gotta be recorded.
So I could record it to the Drive instead of going live, that's not
Right.
a problem. I could bring the laptop, or I could bring my laptop, that would work. We could still do it. We could still do it. Nothing else is, I might need one more cameraman now, because one of the cameras would be building.
Well,
You,
it's stable kind.
Okay.
Ask me to move around in America.
okay,
I
easy
can,
cam,
I
Yeah,
can
the
help.
easy cam,
I help
stationary,
the,
yeah.
Okay, just turn it.
and they're
So
here.
we're walking around, I might get
I can
distracted.
help.
Any
I might get
Yeah,
distracted.
we're gonna be there actually, so.
Oh, hi, how you been? I'm not trying to see. Oh, yeah. And it's like,
Okay.
And that camera pointing down at the ground.
I'm gonna prevent that.
So Ricky, I'm gonna give you that Steadicam shot thing.
What's the steady?
So I have, it's gonna be an iPhone,
Okay,
a
like
motion stabilized
for Steve?
gimbal.
No.
Yeah, that I have.
Okay.
Be mobile.
It's designed actually for a GoPro, but the iPhone should work the same.
Mhm.
So we'll have to, get used to that, but, it'll be fun.
Cool.
well, we can meet earlier if you need to go set up earlier.
Must have,
So, yeah,
yeah, 'cause
Um,
usually.
I will keep you guys in the loop. Ricky?
I cannot come very early.
Okay.
Probably the same time, 6:30, 7, something like that.
Okay,
It starts at 6:30.
The video gonna be later at the end, right?
the video playing back will be at the end, but not all the hulas and all the.
Oh, yeah, that part, yeah, I got it,
We're
got
gonna
it.
videotape the whole thing.
How you gonna
Right,
do the
right.
video? Do you have a screen there, projector?
I don't know. Again, I was picturing this playing being played back here.
Yeah.
No, I think elementary schools do that.
How do they play
Yeah,
back?
you gotta
Because
scope it out. You
EK
gotta
had
go
the
down
same-
there during the
EK had
day.
a screen.
I know, I've never been to that
No,
cafeteria.
EK had a
So
screen.
they have a
Well,
projector, what's feeding the projector? A computer?
Yeah, somebody's gonna bring their,
Pro
Probably
presenter?
gotta do
Is it-
a site visit
of
tomorrow.
somebody's
or something.
laptop, I'm sure.
I don't know.
I know, but what program, and they have to get the video from me.
Who's-
It was gonna be very easy where I was just gonna be able to post it, just like we always do all our other videos.
I
but
don't know who
Yeah,
got it.
exactly, now,
The site change.
so that's a Bell question, I think.
It is a bill question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll follow up with her. That was a really, if nothing else happened, then I found that out that this meeting, that makes this meeting worthwhile.
Yeah.
That is a major difference of assumptions.
Yeah.
I assumed it was here because all the rehearsals were here and they meet here on Wednesdays, don't they? But that event is gonna be at.
Yeah, too many people cannot fit the amount of people, it's
How many-
huge.
Really?
It's families, right? It's not just youth,
Wow.
families
That's gonna
and,
be awesome then.
yeah, and food,
Really?
you can't have that kind of food in there, it's gonna mess it up,
Okay, all right, so
yeah.
coordination to come, but I got my people, so, Ricky, David, and Amy, we will be putting you to good use. We may have to figure out a communication system, I have a feeling what's gonna happen is I'm gonna call all your guys' phones and we're gonna do a conference call. So do you have this kind of a headphone that has a microphone on it? You do, you guys have?
We can get one.
If you guys can get, this is a Skull Candy, they're like $14,
Yeah, was
sometimes
it $10, that's,
$19.
yeah.
But get the kind that has the little
Like
microphone
the
button.
phone mic, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so then what you can do, because it's gonna be noisy, so you can plug both of these in your ear, wow, that really does work. And then, I'll make a conference call on the phones, and this will become our intercom system amongst the crew. And so that I could say, so you know when you're hot and when you're not, so when you can move and when you can't, that'll be most important for you probably, because you'll be wanting to set something up, you'll show it to me, and I'll say, okay, wait, ready? Okay, Ricky, you're hot, and then you would make your move.
The
and then-
director, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to that, but it might be
Yeah.
great. But if you guys
That's pretty neat.
just bring your fully charged smartphone and this kind of a headset, then I think we can pull that off.
So is it something like this?
Yep, something like that would just be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll just need your phone numbers, and then I'll set up a conference call amongst us. Okay, and that's how
Was
we'll
there a way
communicate.
that you could do a walkthrough if you have a chance to go to visit a cafeteria to see what they have?
We're just gonna wait for Bell.
Yeah, I'm not going to take over their event, I just wanna kinda cover it, but I'm gonna need a desk and a power, primarily,
Yeah.
just a place to set up. Everything else, like your cameras can all be wireless, except unless I have one of you close to me, then I can have one of you be wired. And Then the only thing I can't guarantee is frame rate. I won't know that. But honestly, if we're not streaming,
Yeah. You're
that's
just capturing,
how we
yeah.
can solve it at Haleiwa.
Yeah.
That's how we'll solve it at Haleiwa.
Just
Sorry,
get your,
little
um,
eureka moment.
Yeah.
I can live stream the dun 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 if I had to, but if I also simultaneousally record it to hard drive, then I can
Playback would be smooth, yeah.
yeah, what I would actually I probably wouldn't live stream then. Still want to live stream. But I could record it to drive instead and upload it that afternoon. It'd be as live, but it wouldn't actually be live. I'll think about that. Sorry, I'm holding you guys longer. Any other questions or comments? Okay. If anything else up there you want to let me know about, let me know. Maybe I'm looking for editors. And I don't know where everybody's at with editing, so we'll figure that out. Thank you guys for coming tonight. It was actually turns out to be a lot. We went really fast, I can tell, because my voice is getting funny. So let me just close in a word of prayer, and then let you guys. Then you guys are here on your own, on your own time. Okay, let's pray. Father God, we are so blessed by what you're doing through this ministry and through the people involved. Father God, we just feel so privileged to be able to just talk to the people who you've worked in their lives. You've done mighty and powerful things. You're changing people's destinies, God. And as we get to talk with them and just hear their reactions, God, Lord, we can't help but to praise you and to glorify you, God, because what you're doing is amazing. So, Father, what a privilege it is to be able to share this with a larger audience, God, and to bring you even more glory, Father. And Father God, we just ask that as we serve, Lord, help us to remember that all these numbers that we see on a post-it or on a website, God, that every single person, every single number has a story behind it, that every single stat represents somebody that you died for, that meant so much to you, that you would have come to earth if it was just them here. So Father, God, help us never to get so lost in the technical details, God, that we forget our purpose here, God, and that's to love you, love others, God, and just to glorify you. So Father God, we just ask your hand of blessing and your guidance. Lord, lead our thoughts, help us with the technical details and the eureka moments that we need, Father God, just to do an excellent job and to represent you well, God, so that people would be drawn toward you and that they'd forget about the medium and just focus on you, God, their Savior or their future Savior. Father, we give you all the glory, and Lord, just thank you for this group of people, God. Draw us together as a team. Help us to feel like we belong to one another, that we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. Lord, because when we serve you, we are, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you, Pastor Rich, for your leadership in
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
making
That's
this
like-
go
It's-
to the world.
It's been such a big improvement when you've grown that.
Huge.
It's been a ride, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody online.